When I share about my journey, I think it's important that I start out with a scripture text that's particularly meaningful to me. I was diagnosed with cancer back in my 40s, and when I was diagnosed, my mother was in the end stages of terminal cancer, ovarian cancer, and my father-in-law was soon to be diagnosed with a terminal cancer. In the year 2005, I had my own diagnosis and surgery, and my mother passing, and my father-in-law passing. A meaningful scripture for me is in Luke, and it's a very familiar story that's read many times in church. And it's in chapter 8, verse 22. One day Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they got into a boat and started out. As they sailed across, Jesus settled down for a nap. But soon a fierce storm came down on the lake. The boat was filling with water, and they were in real danger. The disciples went and woke him up, shouting, "Master, Master, we're going to drown." When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and the raging waves. Suddenly the storm stopped and all was calm. Then he asked them, "Where is your faith?" And I think that for me, especially in the past 10-year journey for me, we will have storms. So there will be storms in life. And in this particular scripture, Jesus actually directed his disciples to get into a boat knowing that there would be a storm. And another part of the story that strikes me is that after the storm came upon them, and some of them were professional fishermen, so they obviously knew how to navigate this lake, the Sea of Galilee, but they were desperate. And the storm was more than what they could handle, but they still, within their own efforts, tried to get through this storm. You can imagine them rowing faster, bailing, and doing everything within their efforts to get through it, and yet Jesus was asleep in the boat. So they never bothered to wake him up, but they kept doing things in their own efforts, which is, for me, has been a struggle with panic and fear, anxiety, all those things that happen with a cancer diagnosis and a cancer journey. It's always the what ifs. You know, you put your eyes on your circumstances, like they put their eyes on their storm circumstances. It may be the loss of life, loss of a job, relationship. And so it's very interesting because after they woke Jesus up, he went and he rebuked the circumstance. And the circumstance did change, I don't think he rebukes them. I think he looks back at these guys and says to them, you know, "Hey guys, where's your trust? I mean, you trust me when things are going well, and so you can have that same kind of trust and peace and assurance when things aren't going well." And in this particular surgery that I had and recovery, it's an example where I lost it, where I became unglued, and because the news was not good. And so it's my way of really failing at trust, and yet God still being faithful to me and showing up in a big way. And that's what happened when I wrote my journal, is that it really depicts how God showed up in a big way.